this reserve tank.
Oof. I do not wish another reserve tank on these runners, especially after the experience Matrick had with it in Game 1. I'm gonna, let's see, I think I went high jump boots. I want to see some high jump boots climb. Not honestly what I think they'll find, but what I hope they find.
Yeah, so I guess they are starting right now, and it's only about half a minute until we finally get the solution to the big question of what the first major item will be, besides Morph Ball.
Galamoz with a nice Moonfall, and then a Pitless. Matrick getting a nice backup there for pits after falling in the third pit, but making it cleanly through the room, only a handful of seconds despite not moonfalling, and the statistically favored energy tank is the winner.
So far, nothing out of the ordinary, and I guess now both runners won't have much trouble picking up their Morph Ball from the ceiling. That's a trick that we have seen some of the people in the losers bracket to struggle a bit with.
And it's a trick. It's not something you standard will practice very often. And we see runners struggle with it. It's non-trivial. Galamoz is actually experiencing a little bit of hardship with that one right now. The Rio not being cooperative.
Indeed, and I was about to say it's as you said, it's a trick. It's not part of the standard game.
Yes, very seldom do we see that in standard vanilla Super Metroid, but Galamoz thankfully not needing to reset the room by virtue of actually getting that early energy tank, having enough health to tank those damage boost attempts.
Yeah, also both getting their power bombs early down here. That means they can easily check the original Mother Brain tank, which is something that's also common in these randomizers, since you quite often get power bombs already in Blue Brinstar.
So we see Matrick doing what he's done in the past two, heading right for Big Pink, and not going to go check that Mother Brain location, but making good use of those power bombs nonetheless.
Yeah, that seems an uncommon route choice, and we'll see if it pays off for him.
Yeah. And I've spent a little bit of time discussing this the past two times because we've seen Matrick go for this before. But it's a choice that makes a lot of sense if you're willing to commit to doing an early wrecked ship and getting grappling beam right away. He's not even going to have to CWJ or continuous wall jump into wrecked ship, and so I imagine we're going to see an early Fantoon out of Matrick for the third consecutive race. And Galamoz actually had a very, very nice reverse hits, utilizing a damage boost off some of the French fries to really get through there cleanly. That was a really pretty strat that I don't think we'd taken any time to comment on throughout the match, but just really nice execution, and he's done it 3 games in a row now. And space jump for Matrick.
Yeah, and I think the early wrecked ship route makes sense for Matrick, because he is one of those runners that is rather versatile and can basically skip any single item. And he even is able to pull off a very fast suitless Meridia. So if he checks wrecked ship reserve tank, and it turns out that there is an important progress item, he pretty certainly can finish his run without it. And he also has no problem fighting Fantoon with very little equipment. So yeah, this is actually not a bad decision. Ooh,
Wow,
speed booster.
galamoz getting high jump boots at Bombterizo and speed booster there at Terminator is set up to try for his early lower north there. Just looking for Varia and ideally something like Screw Attack to enable him to get back out of the Golden Terizo area. Of course, that is a ways off, but both the runners getting basically hooked up for their early calls, everything lining up according to the plan A.
Yeah, I'm actually quite happy to see that they are both finding the items that they need to go their route, because this way we can see a quite interesting battle of different routing, instead of having someone getting blocked in his progress just by bad luck. That's the much better race, I guess.
Yeah, and I was going to say I want to see this be a wreck chip to give each of the runners one suit, but realistically, Varia suit is the suit that the runners are going to need to really look for. Gravity suit is very helpful, but slightly less essential. A little bit of a high five there from our runners. Early super missiles location, and we'll see another nice moonfall down to Edik from galamoz.
Yeah, and I'm wondering what route Matrick is going to take to wreck Chip, and I presume he will go up to Criteria from here on, and this way he should also get his speed booster, enabling him to check all of the item locations in wreck Chip.
Yeah, we probably will see him pursue the same route from games 1 and 2, wherein he'll go up through Criteria and check, obviously, the Terminator location and then Bombterizo, and we'll go check Gauntlet from there, which is what he's done the past 2 races, not opting to save for the potential reset warp at the ship, and just going into Gauntlet and then backtracking back out if it's out to not be an item that desires. And so right now the runners are just kind of each tracing through things that we've already seen the other runner do. A little bit of a lull here, but still really good to watch execute. Galamoz using the indoor setup despite having high jump boot, if I caught that right, while Matrick is ice skating and gets his speed booster. Galamoz for his space jump, and we'll see Matrick head over and check out Bombterizo and get his high jump boots in just a second.
Yeah, so far we really see quite clean and quite fast execution from both runners. It's a pleasure to watch.
Yeah, the runners have been great and are continuing to be great through 3 games, so I will again implore you, please follow these guys. They're putting on quite a show, and it's been a joy to watch, so and a joy to commentate.
Yeah, and galamoz has a slight advantage, maybe, since he took a slightly different route.
Matrick doing something interesting here. Electing to set up the short charge here. He's form there for Gauntlet entry. He's gonna shoot the door open, and because he doesn't have power, we may see the save at the ship for a reset warp, but no, he's going to plan to spark back out. I don't know if he has the health to spark in and out. This could be bad. Please refill your health.
I think at this point Matrick will do that. Oh no.
I think he may try and space jump through Gauntlet. No? This is... Oh, well, now he's going to be forced into it. That could have ended disastrously if Matrick did not find bombs or screw attack or an energy tank. Thankfully, we're seeing him save now. But really, by virtue of a couple miscues, I believe, dodging a very likely hardship.
Yeah, he fat-fingered himself into living.
But even still, it's going to be tough to get back out. But yeah, just a reserve tank. We're going to see him have to charge the spark here. I would reset here after having saved at the ship if I'm Matrick. I think he may be playing with a little bit of blinders right now. Galamoz is going to check X-ray right now, and he is going to find his gravity suit.
Yeah, and another slight advantage that Galamoz had was that he could check waterway. He did only find an E-tank, so it wasn't anything important. But he has the advantage of knowing that there is just an E-tank, and we've seen in the second game that they didn't find charge until very late. Matrick went for the chargeless strategy, and Galamoz took the time to hunt down charge beam. And if in such a situation you know that waterway is nothing you should check, that's quite an advantage. And at this point, I think with what he did in Gauntlet, Matrick has actually wasted something like 1.5-2 minutes already, while Galamoz has already found his gravity suit.
Yeah, I would like to point out that he canceled the save prompt when he went into the Gauntlet, but he did safety save on the way out, it looks like.
Okay. I saw him go into the ship. I thought with the audio that we got the save sound, but it's possible that he did cancel the save. I thought the save sound fired on his way in, so that was inaccurate. But also Varia for Galamoz, both suits, that is a huge advantage already, just between both the suits being at X-ray and then Spazer. This is going to set Galamoz up to really take a nice routing advantage here, being able to do the KRDP route for randomizers.
Yeah, but it'll be interesting to see what route Matrick is going to take when he's done with wrecked ship. Because since he will certainly not find gravity, we know it's not in the wrecked ship already, I presume he will basically he will pass the X-ray door and quite likely check it, since he has a grappling beam and space jump. And he might also check Spazer on his way to Kryt. So
yeah, I fully expect that Matrick will find all of the items that we've seen Galamoz get. Just that he's going to have to also go up and do the top part of wrecked ship checking for items, whereas we'll almost assuredly see Galamoz be able to skip those locations. So if something like charge is there, that could potentially work out in Matrick's favor. But overall, just both suits being already found is a huge boon for Galamoz.
yeah, it certainly puts him in a comfortable position to know that he does not have to hope for those. But I guess what he will be doing in wrecked ship is going to depend on what's going to happen in Norfair, because I presume that Galamoz is now going down to Norfair, and if something like Ice Beam or charges in the wrecked ship, as you said...
Speak of the devil, there's Ice Beam at the Crady tank.
I guess I guess this will now not be in the wrecked ship anymore.
What is this seed? But nice Fantoon from Matrick.
Yeah. And I guess we will also see Matrick making quick work of the wrecked ship in general. Yes, but it might actually work out like you said, and galamoz will not have to check the wrecked ship and basically save a couple of minutes with having taken the better route here.
I mean, at this point, galamoz is at the point where quite literally all he needs are minor items. Getting his X-ray scope at Ice Beam, but this is a big lead for galamoz to take early, just by virtue of routing, which we've seen come up in the past couple races as well. It's just been routing has been key.
Yeah, Matrick so far is not really getting rewarded in the wrecked ship. The E-Tank is useful at this point. A Thorf one is definitely something you wanna grab in a rando, but that's not the key item you look for when you go to wrecked ship early.
galamoz, interestingly, choosing to check a number of the upper north locations, presumably also looking to double up those major locations with some of the minor checks. We see him getting some super missiles out of the high jump boots area, but making sure his ammo is in good shape before heading down to lower Norfair so that he'll be able to definitely kill Ridley.
Yeah, for Ridley, you want to have at least 30 supers usually, because that's the amount that Ridley takes. And if you have exactly 30, you can miss some supers and fill them in with normal missiles or power bombs, which are quite effective against Ridley. But at this point, the main things that galamoz are missing are either charge beam or miners, indeed. And I guess
Screw attack would be nice.
I was about to say he's probably going to check the major items not just for charge, but finding something like screw attack is going to be really helpful.
And actually, galamoz has speed booster. I was going to say galamoz wisely looking for another power bomb pack or something else that would help him get back out of lower Norfair, but if he can speedball in Wasteland to escape, then he can actually execute lower Norfair on just the 5 power bombs, but finding a second pack for good measure.
Yeah, and unless you have bombs, picking up a second power bomb pack is probably not a bad trade-off of the time to pick up the pack when taking the safety into account of not running out of power bombs.
galamoz saying he's not going to check speed booster or wave beam, immediately going for the moonfall out of the reserve location. Interesting sequencing from galamoz, adapted from what we've seen in the first couple games, where we saw him go speed booster and then deboost back over to the reserve tank location.
And Matrick finding screw attack in the wrecked ship reserve tank position. So to an extent, wrecked ship pays off, because despite Matrick being a really good runner and having no trouble doing lower Norfair even with quite adverse conditions, screw attack is going to save him a bit of time.
That's assuming he refills on power bombs, though. He is out.
Yeah. Thank you for jumping in, Leno. That is absolutely correct. Matrick is electing to not get that item because he does not have bombs or power bombs.
Oh yeah, that's a good catch. I didn't notice that he was out of power bombs.
Unless he acquires, well, he has 0 power bombs, so he can't actually clear the the Chozo statue, but Charge Beam at Golden Torizo, or at Screw Attack for galamoz.
And your prediction becomes true. So I guess we won't see galamoz do much besides... we won't see him do anything besides just killing Phantoon in the wreck chip.
Yeah. That is... Galamoz's routing has paid off immensely. He has found quite literally not the sequence, but the collection of majors that most guarantee his ability to quickly complete them.
I still think Matrick has kind of a moral win in the sense that he has actually found and collected Spring Ball, which is the best item in the game. But besides that, he doesn't have much going for him in terms of items. So now let's hope that he's going to actually check X-Ray and Spacer and find his suits.
Yes, and I don't know about you, Bender. I'm getting some buffering stream right now.
I'm getting that too.
Okay.
I am also getting it.
It looks to be back, and I see Galamoz on his way in to check Fireflea to see if this might be something that helps him with Ridley. And Wave Beam at Fireflea. But we're getting a restart here.
Yeah, so galamoz is also getting a bit of a damage up for his beam. I wouldn't be surprised at this point if he also accidentally runs into Plasma Beam, given what the seed has provided so far.
Yeah, Matrick, true to expectation, picking up his gravity suit here at X-Ray. And we should see him get his Varia very quickly. But unfortunately, he's probably not going to feel real great based on the way he's routed this and what Galamoz has likely done with this seed.
Yeah, I guess Matrick knows that his routing decisions are not quite out of the usual, and he probably has to expect that Galamoz has taken a route at least pretty close to the route that he actually took. Yeah, and so Matrick is probably going to know that he's not really in the lead by now. And picking up his second suit.
Galamoz making his way over to Ridley. Matrick probably going to pretty much trace the footsteps that we've seen Galamoz take, but with the benefit of Spring Ball.
Yeah, at this point, the advantage that Matrick has is that he has done Wreck Chip already, and the question is now if he can make up the time that he needs to make up, so he can overtake Galamoz while Galamoz is going to do the Wreck Chip, because I would expect both runners at this point to go to Ridley first. Galamoz is just fighting Ridley now, and I would expect Matrick to also head down to Norfair after this and not to Meridia. And yeah, so their route should be from this point on pretty similar, with Galamoz being a bit ahead and Matrick having to make up his time through execution.
Yeah, and in this situation, I personally expect to see Matrick gambling a little bit on skipping some locations. And so it's possible, and I don't know how you feel about it, Bender, we might not see Matrick find Charge Beam at Golden Torizo.
Yeah, this might actually happen, because if he feels that he's really behind, he might opt to skip that item location, or he might also, since he has enough ammo for Ridley now, although he only has 25 supers, he has a couple of power bombs and a couple of normal missiles. He might even opt to just go down to lower Norfair.
And galamoz getting through Ridley, using some X Factor strats there, and picking up his energy tank to keep himself safe through the lower Norfair escape. The vanilla energy tank at Ridley, and Matrick getting the anything beam.
galamoz is making his way out of lower Norfair, and he has quite a lot of health. I don't expect any major time loss for him on his way to certainly Meridia, since he only has to kill Fantoon. I really think we're going to see, no matter who wins, 2 really fast times with this seed.
Yeah, this seed is a very fast seed. Nothing has come out to troll the runners today. They got the power bombs they need to ensure that they don't need to find bombs. They are well equipped. The only luxury item they may have wanted, screw attack, which we know is at Wrecked Ship Reserve, but even that, both runners of the skill these guys are can, handle lower Norfair just fine without it.
Yeah, in the losers round we have seen a number of runners basically locking themselves into problematic situations by saving with not too much health in lower Norfair and having trouble to finish lower Norfair. But with these two, this is not to be expected. I think, I know for sure that Matrick is capable of doing RBO, and he also has done a damageless run. And from the way galamoz plays, I can't really imagine that that he isn't capable of basically the same set of tricks.
Yeah, both these runners highly capable. We'll see galamoz making his way through the 3 musketeers, just tanking the damage a little bit and just getting through as quickly as he can. And Matrick with a nice fast pillars there.
And as you expected, it seems that he's not going to check the GT item, and therefore miss his charge beam.
Yeah, so he's going to need to do the minor item hunt, which I think is a good rational actor decision from Matrick, going to work out to his disadvantage.
We'll see. I guess it also depends on how much luck with the miners Matrick is going to have. He's going to pass by a number of miners quite naturally that aren't really out of the way. Not getting the spark here to kill the first 2 key hunters. Having to evade them, which at least worked for the first one. But if he has good luck and runs into mainly super missile pickups, I think it's not going to cost him that much.
Even still, he would need to pick up a minimum of 8 more minor items, which is a minute in fanfares alone, at about 7 seconds apiece. So just the fanfare cost of grabbing all of those minor, certainly non-negligible.
Yeah, but on the other hand, if he picks up a lot of supers, his damage per second output with those against Mother Brain is going to be quite a bit higher than what galamoz can do with Charged Ice and Wave. If he finds Plasma, that's another story.
Yes. As long as galamoz does not have plasma, the damage of Matrick with a bunch of super missiles will be substantially faster, and even still, it would be better if galamoz gets plasma.
Yeah, but if galamoz gets plasma, I don't see the rather high cost of picking up all those miners being offset by the higher damage output.
No, not it would be not even close, particularly given that galamoz already has X-ray if plasma comes before he reaches, well, not Batwoon anymore, but maybe Dragon.
Yeah, but on the other hand, I don't think that the microwave shrimp is going to be that much of an advantage, since yeah, we've seen Matrix Dragon fight in the last match, and even with microwaving the shrimp, you can make up time, but that's not going to be the deciding factor, I think.
Huh. Matrick again electing for ice beam farming. I'm very curious about this call rather than using the grapple beam that he has again. It's curious, if nothing else. And heading in with very little ammo to miss here on Ridley, has to feel very good about his ability to fire off these shots with very low error rate. Just not having the 30 supers into Ridley. We'll see Matrick being very careful here. Oh, but I think he missed one there. I think Ridley's tail.
Yeah, I saw that tail explosion too.
But using power bombs to supplement damage output, make sure he gets 2 hits from each of those. That's good work. And I think if he doesn't miss any more super missiles, he's got, I think, two extra super missiles at this point. So
yeah, he should be fine.
Yeah, Ridley is dead and just needs to pick up Matrick at this point.
And there is the pickup, the explosion.
And that goofy swinging tail.
Yes, the dreaded tail. Everybody hates Ridley's tail.
And galamoz in the meantime with a clean Dragon, trying to get Spike Suit here, having a little bit of trouble, but it is a double frame perfect trick.
I was about to say, getting Spike Suit is really hard, and I guess the only people that I've seen it do more or less reliably are Zosti and Behemoth. And they're a bad benchmark to compare anybody against except Zosti and Behemoth.
Yeah, there are a few other runners who've been pretty good at their Spike Suits, and very impressively. But definitely a very tough trick.
Yeah, I guess I'm probably not giving Two-Cat the credit that he deserves, because I tend to forget about how good that guy is as a runner way too often. And yeah, galamoz,
there's more than a handful of folk, and so I'm gonna not shout anyone specific out. But Two-Cat, Behemoth, and Zost are, as you cite, are all also quite good at executing. And Matrick dancing with the Deskigas here a little bit. A very interesting situation he's found himself in. I'm not exactly sure what he's pursuing. I guess he wanted to lower his health to give us a Siren, but with reserves he doesn't have what he needs. Crystal. This is a peculiar choice on Matrick's part.
Yeah, I can't really make sense of what he did there.
In the meanwhile, we'll see galamoz making his up to wreck ship to kill Phantoon. Yeah, I really don't know what that was about for Matrick. I'm racking of anything. If he happens into the Discord later, it definitely warrants asking him about. That and the Gauntlet decision earlier, both really are puzzling me.
Yeah, same here. And in the meantime, we see galamoz entering wreck chip from the backside, while Matrick is still caught up in the lower Norfair escape, checking the minor item behind the spring ball maze before he picks it up or not, because I guess if it would have been a super pack, he would have gone through the spring ball maze. But since it's just regular missiles, I guess we'll see him skip those.
Yeah, and I like that call. You pay 8 seconds to do it, but being able to avoid picking up a miner that you don't want, absolutely good when it takes that long to go through the spring ball maze.
Yeah, of course, also checking this minor item since it's just on the way.
Yeah. And yeah, Matrick is at this point ramping up completion of the game. Galamoz going for some old Fantoon strats with the X Factors. See if he gets a nice clean 2 round out of it or not. So far, a pretty nice setup, and yeah, galamoz with a very clean Fantoon, and
Matrick is showing us quite some trickery with the reserve tanks.
Matrick with some nice reserve tank management.
Yeah, getting 2 hits from those key hunters out of 4 health is quite an achievement, and this kind of shows that reserve tanks are not as useless as some people think they are. You just have to know how to use them.
Yeah, manual mode on reserve tanks is absolutely a game changer when you can, manipulate the amount of health you're getting out of some of those hits. But
and Matrick finding another reserve tank. I really think he was hoping for an energy tank, since he only has 2 health, and I'm not sure if he saved somewhere in Norfair at all. So basically, any hit he would take now would certainly cost him the match.
And galamoz making his way quickly to Torian, on pace for a monster time.
In the meantime, Matrick is checking speed booster, and at this point I think we can safely say he didn't manage to make up the time that he needed to make up to offset galamoz's very quick wreck chip, because galamoz is now going to head for G4, and he's well equipped. He has enough supers to do some really good damage on Mother Brain 2. He has charged Ice and Wave Beam to not make the damage that he can't deal through super missiles in not too much time. And he also has Ice Beam for the Metroids. There's nothing that's going to hold him back, and Matrick has all of Meridia in front of him.
Yeah. Galamoz on pace for what could be a very, very nice Hall of Fame time. With second place right now being Zos 47.21 and third being Elminster's 48.45. If this is substantially sub 50, we may see a timeout of galamoz that, if this is a clean Torian, stands up for quite a while in the best finishes or best race times part of the Hall of Fame.
Yeah, he got a really benign seed, and he took just a route that was the right one for this seed.
Yeah, having a little bit of Metroid trouble, but we'll see some power bombs make, well, not quick work of it, but eventual work of that pernicious Metroid.
And in the meantime, we see Matrick getting hit a bit by his decision to not check GT, less for the item fanfare and more for having to make small but numerous detours to pick up the miners. And he...
Oh, sorry?
He also didn't have too much good luck with those miners so far, because quite a lot were missiles or even worse, power bombs.
Yeah, I see a request for a Hall of Fame link in the chat from Yoko the Gamer. And so if you go to the schedule spreadsheet, it'll be one of the tabs, the third tab, in fact, on the schedule spreadsheet. Meanwhile, galamoz locking in a baby skip, getting it pretty cleanly, and with Charge, Ice, and Wave, not needing to do any worrying about missile management or any, just heading right on over to the Endotorian. And
I guess we'll also see a quick Zep skip. There it is.
Yeah.
None of the runners has screw attack, which would make this a bit more tricky.
Yeah.
And Mother Brain 1 is down. And with the amount of health that galamoz has, I guess the only thing that could stop him now is if he tries to do stand-up glitch and softlocks himself. But I expect the first thing to happen, but not the second.
Yeah, and that's what I expect as well at this point is, and galamoz, I won't say wisely, but something that I like to do here as well, opting to save 15 super missiles rather than count his shots and just wait for Mother Brain to issue the first catch-up and know that then he can just pump the last 15 super missiles into her and be guaranteed the kill. Because 15 super missiles will be exactly 25% of Mother Brain's health, which is when she will start in the Mother Brain 2 phase with the catch-up attack. And so, yeah, we see him switch over to super missiles and try and take care of phase 2 that way, rather than fretting about counting a particular number of beam shots. But it looks like not going for stand-up. Choosing to play it safe.
In the meantime, we can see Matrick making his way through Meridia quite quickly, but not quickly enough to get any chance at winning this game out of his own devices, unless galamoz does something really, really unexpected.
Yeah, and I'll reiterate that, you know, all three of these games pretty much decided by a pathing choice from our runners. This one looking more lopsided than the previous two, but Matrick making what I believe to be almost all of the right calls throughout the course of this game, including even the detrimental skipping charge at Golden Torizo, just from a position of knowing he's likely behind and making this that one would need to make and have pay off in order to have a likely win. So, unfortunate that it's working out this way for Matrick, but I think that he's making all of the right call.
Yeah, he set himself up a certain way with the not irrational or bad decision to basically go directly to Green Brinstar and then to wreck Chip. But he just had worse luck with the items along the route that he's taken.
Yeah.
But that's the nature of randomizers.
Yeah. And galamoz now on to Mother Bird. And we will see what is almost assuredly going to be a second place Hall of Fame time out of galamoz. So excellent execution, galamoz. That's just taking a very generous seed and taking the most advantage of it with routing that really paid off.
What we are also most likely going to see is an entry of Matrick into the Hall of Fame for the fastest loss table. He will probably not take the first spot, but he'll quite certainly land somewhere in that table if he decides to finish his game.
That one, a little more ambitious. The fastest loss here being cut off at 57 minutes. But Matrick should be able to complete the game in under that amount of time. Going to need to check a couple more minor items, but galamoz escaping, looking at a probable low to mid 46, which would put him below Zost for second. Zost 47.21 getting the bump to third here, assuming that galamoz doesn't spend a lot of time with the animals. And I see now in the SRL, galamoz has finished with an official SRL time of 46.19, improving his PB by 3.5 minutes. An insane time for galamoz. Congratulations.
GG and congratulations indeed.
And Matrick has issued a forfeit from the race and has offered up his congratulations as well. I don't know if we'll see him finish the seed or not. But yes, that is the second fastest time recorded in this behind Zos 43.12. That was also another very generous seed that Zos took full advantage of.
Yeah, and I have to say, despite personally rooting a bit for Matrick, galamoz really deserves this win. He didn't just win because he had better luck. He really also had really good execution. He earned it. That was a quite solid performance we saw from both sides.
Yeah, really excellent execution from both of our runners. All three games really came down to routing. Some good calls and some questionable calls throughout, but this was really great play overall. Great job to both our runners. They're awesome. Follow our tracker, Lenifis, who's been doing a great job keeping tabs on all the items throughout the match. And follow Speed Gaming and Speed Gaming 2 and Feasel, because Feasel has made this whole tournament possible, and I've been happy.
I think Maniacal has cut out again. So yeah, I can just reiterate. Follow the runners. They're both Super Metroid runners. You can get more of what you saw here on their channels. Also, follow our tracker Lenofis. He's also a Super Metroid runner and also quite capable.
Hi guys.
Hi.
Hi, Lena.
And yeah, also follow Maniacal. He's also a Super Metroid runner and a generally great guy, so nothing wrong with throwing him a follow.
Well, I appreciate it. Follow Bender, providing great commentary. I know Bender doesn't even run Super Metroid, but is very knowledgeable about the game despite that. And so I don't know what you play, Bender, but whatever you do, I'm sure you play it very knowledgeable.
I'm not really streaming myself. I thought about maybe playing some old arcade shooters, but that's a topic for another day.
Yes. For now, congratulations to galamoz on a hard-fought win. He will be moving on to face the winner of Sloters 27 and Oats and Goats in round 3 of the winner's bracket. And congratulations on great races also to matrick2298. He will be moving on to face the winner of Steph Cad versus Mumu Diddy in the bracket in, I believe, round 3 of that bracket. All those matches should be great, and there's plenty of good Super Metroid Randomizer coming up. I know for any Night Owls, we have Dread versus Kekumen Shoyu, and that is sure to be a really fun set of races. Also with commentary by Sephi, so who knows what nonsense we'll get. I'm sure it's going to be a good time. I plan.
And it's not just Sephi on the commentary. At least the first match of Dread against Keku will be also commentated by Matrick.
Oh wow, that is awesome. Yeah, so tune in and hear Matrick comment.
I'm actually not sure because it says Matrick here with 1 T. I'm not sure if this is the Matrick or if it's another Matrick, because there is another Matrick but written with 2 T's that frequents Super Metroid streams. But in any case, you will hear a Matrick commentary. And it might be especially interesting for those Americans who aren't really into the metric system. I'm sorry, it's late here. Bad puns happen.
It's all good, Bender. Thank you for sticking this out and commentating until 5 in the morning. It was a pleasure to get you to convince you to procrastinate on sleeping to give us some good commentary for this race.
Thanks, I really enjoyed it, and not the least because I could do it with you. Thank you a lot for having me.
Thank you, Bender.
Yeah, I think given that you've already lifted a mystery about what my local time is, I will sign out for the night and wish everybody who is in a similar time zone a good night, and everybody who is, majority will probably be in the United States, a wonderful evening.
Yes, and I'm just going to check the schedule one time real to see. It looks like the Dread Kekumen Shoyu match will be taking place over on Speed Gaming, and at 10:30 also J-Ro and CFB commentated by Just Defend and Mishrak should be going on right now. I haven't been able to check in on it because I've been here hanging out with y'all, but that should be a good race. And then at 1 a.m. Eastern, we're going to see the beginning of Red and Kekumen Shoyu, and that should also be fun. So stay tuned over on Speed Gaming if you want Super Metroid. And otherwise, I don't know what's coming up on Speed Gaming 2, if anything. Probably a Speed Gaming host, so you might be getting more Super Metroid either way. But thank you very much for the co-commentary, Bender. It was a blast. Thank you, everyone, for tuning in. And I'm going to shut this one down. Thank you all very much for hanging out, and congratulations to galamoz. And thank you for the great races, galamoz and Matrick.